You are with the Skeinz Diaries, episode 209. I'm Marie today, 14th of November. I hope everything is going very well at your place today. First up, big shout out to Deb down at Outlaw HQ. It was her birthday yesterday. So if you happen to be going into Outlaw this week, it's birthday week, really. We don't do birthday. So birthday week, go make sure you wish Deb a very happy birthday down there at Outlaw HQ. So happy birthday, cuz. And yes, weekend done and dusted again, and I hope everyone had a great weekend. I had a good weekend. I actually got out in the garden. The weather here is probably the wettest spring in Hawke's Bay that I can remember in a really long time. So I did actually manage to get out in the garden because everything was so soft. So I did a little knitting, but not as much as I normally would do, because I was so determined when we did get actually an inkling of fine weather that I needed to get out there and actually pull some weeds, which are growing bonkers like everything else because we've had so much rain, which is a good thing, really. But I did get some done. So I'm going to show you my progress on my Basketweaver. And I have also been crunching some numbers. You may have noticed that there was a wee newsletter out yesterday because we're getting down to the very final numbers on some of our dip dyes, especially the Mystical Garden and the Jelly Donut. I think the Jelly Donut is now down to about a dozen left. So if you quite like the look of Jelly Donut, you need to pounce now, or if that's going to go. So I pop that out. Good morning, everyone's jumping in this morning. So good to see everyone here. Yes, so I did that yesterday. I was in here yesterday for a brief time. And as promised, I mentioned it with Ethan on Thursday. We talked about the Trinigan Cardigan from Andres Mowry. That's why I was a little late. I have been crunching some numbers for you because I actually like the style of that cardigan. In fact, I'm sort of searching around for my next project that is certainly going to go on it's certainly going on the consideration list. It ticks a lot of my boxes. Nice, relaxed, kimono style, wide sleeve style cardigan jacket. So and it's good. It's great, and I think it will suit a lot of people. But of course, it's knitted in the beautiful spin cycle, which I'll run through some of the costs in that, and I'm actually here to make your life easy and save you a bit of dosh. So I'm going to do that as well. But first up, let me just quickly show you my progress on my Basketweaver. I am really enjoying knitting this. It is just such a pleasure, and I'm at that really lovely sort of easy stage with it, and it is just so nice. So I'm onto the very last row of my first round of my medium-sized blocks. Is where I'm at, and so you work through this set of instructions twice. So I'm halfway through basically my medium blocks, and so it may not look like a lot since I showed it to you on Thursday, but I've done about another 2 more blocks since Thursday. So there you go. So that's how it's looking in the Roving. Remember, Roving is on sale all this month for $4.95. I just know that this is going to block out like a dream. I really do know that this is going to block out like a dream. You can sort of see it there. It's looking great. I'm so delighted with it. I really, really am. Why have I got a little puckering there? Oh, that's where the increases were. Was it? Oh, no. I've gone and caught that. That looks like a claw. Better than my house. So, yeah, really delighted. So I'm just ticking along. Tickety tock with that. Totally loving it. Really loving it. So that is chugging along beautifully. So I have seen some really great ones finished. Especially, I've seen a couple actually go up in Nix with Outlaw. Amazing. Particularly as part of the Outlaw October, because there was a Stephen West section there. So a few of them did Basketweavers for that, and they look really, really, really good. Really good. So it is so nice. It is really, really nice to have, to actually work on something that you're really quite enjoying. So that has been good news. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about today was the Trinigan Cardigan. So I'm just going to pull it up. So it's a bit slow on the uptake this morning because I was Getting organized. There we go. Sorry about this. Not very organized, I know. Right, there it is. Okie dokie. Let's pull this up for you guys. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Oh, wrong way around. There we go. Here's one I happened to have prepared earlier. So here it is here. It is a mosaic slip stitch color work, and I 3-needle bind off there. See, remember I talked about the exposed 3-needle bind off that was in the Fox Bay cardigan that I've just completed. Here it is here again with this Trinigan cardigan. So I like this personally. I really do. I like it. It gives it sort of, it's a bit like exposed stitching and leather work. It just sort of gives it some really nice structure and a three-dimensional element. Nice wide sleeves. I love these wide double rib bands. They certainly do work for me. And big slouchy drop shoulders. So that's the cardigan there. This is the jumpsuit Ethan was making mention of on Thursday. That is seriously so 1980s. It's very, very funky. But yeah, it's just a really, really relaxed piece to wear. And I just love it. It really does work for me. And you can see with, hold on, is it probably this close up here shows you better. When I get it, there we go. So you can see in here that you can see the 2 spin cycle yarns that she's used. So she's used a blue marl there, which is very, very close together. So to be honest with you, you could get away with a solid yarn there. You wouldn't necessarily have to use a marl, okay? Because the optical effect is just from a distance is very much like a solid. So you could use a solid color there. The magic is in this mosaic portion here. You definitely want to make sure that you're using, through this portion, you definitely want to make sure that you are using some form of colored or variegated yarn, because you want that recessive part to pop. So that's really, really important. And she has used these beautiful spin cycle yarns, the Trina, which is this one here, which I think, I don't know too much about the ranges, but I think that's a range where the colours are closer together, and Dream State, which is one of the most popular yarns, which has got more colours going on. So I did some number crunching for you. And yeah, so Andrews, Kathy, thank you, is putting up. She's done it in Dream State at $32 and $34 per skein. Exactly. And that was the number crunching that I did. So the first thing that I did was convert those back into New Zealand dollars. And it worked out at, no, I wrote them down here somewhere. So it worked out, no, I didn't write down what the conversions were, but I did work out that you would, it's basically you needed between 7 to 13 of the Trina or 4 to 7 of the Dream State. So if you were knitting the smallest size, by the time you converted this out with the current today's New Zealand exchange rate, it worked out at $592 for the smallest size, or at $1,075 for the biggest size. If you were to do the entire thing and order it today, not including the freight in Spin Cycle. And you know what? If you've got it, or you're like Ethan, you get it sent to you, or you've got some Spin Cycle in your stash that you want to use up, by all means, fill your boots. We don't want to put you off doing that. But no, obviously, that's a massive investment. And not everybody right now, I don't think, has that. So I thought, well, let's put some alternatives together and see what we can do. So this is what's going out in today's newsletter. So panic not, people. I've got the XL out, and look at this. I have been crunching some numbers. So what I've gone and done is I've broken it down into these yarns. I've gone and broken it down to all the 9 sizes, how much of what the meterage is for all those 9 sizes, what that translates to in units of all the different yarns, and what the cost is for each size. So I've broken it down into pulse for main color, Pulse for contrast colour, Heather, Highlander Heathers and or Southlander, which for main colour. You'll need to add on an extra $1 per ball if you were to do truly myrtle. And I've also put in there Southlander mauves as well if they were the contrast colours. And I'm going to show you some combinations there. And then I've gone and added a couple of little wild cards in there. One is the Mystical Garden Dip as the contrast colour, because I actually think that that could, and a number of you have actually just bought that over the weekend. So I think that that one could actually look pretty amazing and what would go with that. And the other one I threw in there, and I see a couple of people there mentioned it, vintage, but DS is saying vintage and pulse. Yes, I did throw vintage in there for a main color as well, just to give you some costings and pricings. And it works, it does work out significantly cheaper. So I've managed to, with all the sort of jiggery pokery, moving things around, I've actually now managed to get it down to, so bearing in mind before it was $592 if we were looking at Spin Cycle. This is New Zealand dollars because I see the Americans are here. Versus I managed to get it down to as low as $89.65 if we were doing some of the Skeinz combinations, through to around about sort of 160 for the largest size. And just looking at the sizings, by the way, I wouldn't do the largest size, so they're pretty generous sizing. So I've been able to, the whole goal is to do this and try and keep the total project cost for in that sort of $100 to $200 range group, because it is a very substantial cardigan and we have managed to achieve that. So I thought I would show you some color combinations of what I was talking about. And obviously Pulse is the obvious one. I've gone and done some color tiles up in the newsletter just to show you some suggestions, but I've got a few other suggestions here that I haven't done. Pulse is the main one. And I've just gone and grabbed, in terms of the closest to what she has in the images. Oh, I forgot to grab the flow. Never mind. Tempo is actually pretty close to what she has as a contrast color in the pattern that she was using. And this is one of my favorite colors in the entire Pulse range. This with Pulse Flow, which of course I didn't grab, I think would probably get you a fairly close to look of what she has if you want something fairly similar to the image. Laser is also another option that would definitely make this more aggressive, but I think Flow is definitely your winner chicken dinner. You could, I think getting like this is a bit too close, but Flow is a really good one. Adagio is the other one that I actually quite like the look of with Tempo as well. And they sort of worked, they all work really, really well together. But you've got so many other options, and I think particularly if you look at a solid option for your main color, it really does open up some possibilities. So let's take our Tempo and look at some solid options, and you have a few. And those are the ones that I think are most obvious for solid options. So that is Tempo with Monarch. I will warn you, if you like Monarch, this is actually one of our discontinued colors. So what we've got, Tempo and Flow aren't on the website, Marie. Kathy, you're right. I'll get that. I'll fix that in a moment, Kathy. I know why, but they are back in stock, obviously, because I've got that in my hot little hand. Actually, I'll just see if they have put them up. Thank you, Kathy. Oh, see, this is why I have Kathy. Where would we be without Kathy? She checks these things for us. Talk amongst yourselves, people, while I check this out. As I said, the container literally just arrived in on Thursday, so we got all of these out on Thursday. Come hither, come hither. Oh gosh, now it's going to think, because it likes to think, doesn't it? It's thinking. It's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. While it's thinking. Oh, there we go. Right. Thank you for thinking. Oopsie. Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm going to activate these, but the stock may take a little time to populate. So fear not, people, if that is the case. But I will do that right now. Ah, I know what. Did they come back in or not? I'm going to put the tempo up because I know that the tempo is there. And actually, I'm going to check maybe the flow didn't come in. So I'm going to save that there. I'm going to check with Claire. I definitely know we've got a few tempos there. So I'm going to put those up. So tempo is definitely there. I could have gotten this wrong. Maybe it was just the solids. But there is a little bit of this left there. I definitely know that. Work. The other one that I threw out was the disco. So there we go. So if you run out of tempo, this is disco with these guys. I thought disco and what have I got there? Tui and Monarch were really little happy buddies. This is Dragonfly. This is the number one selling colour in Flight DK. Everybody loves this colour. It's back, and we ordered extra of it. So you had heaps of it. That Dragonfly goes with everything. It is the go with everything blue. It's fabulous. But if you can't get into tempo, disco is definitely the way to go. If you wanted to go something a little bit more subtle, there's the laser. That's why I grabbed that, because there's laser with Dragonfly. Aren't those two fabulous? I think they work really, really, really well together. So those are some options there. The Adagio, which is sort of the greens, the nice sort of subtle greens, that actually works really well with the Tui, but also some of the other vintage colours you can pull back across there. I'm thinking Matcha would look really, really well with Adagio. So there are definitely some nice little colour swings there. So yes, definitely Flow's not. I've got a sneaking suspicion actually Flow is on the next order. So those are some options there. The other one I pulled up on that's going out on the website is this Mystical Garden, because we have there are still a little bit of this left, but I know a lot of you ordered this in across the weekend. Mystical Garden goes great with the vintage colours, like if you want to go vintage. So if you're wanting to do this using vintage, if you want to be safe, then I would be looking at something like the charcoal grey, or the actually the aloe would work really well with these, and they would really well. The other two that I pulled out that I thought worked really well with Mystical Garden, and it's either or an either. So I've picked these two because these are the most extreme. They go sort of from like sort of pinky warm tones through to greeny tones. When we pick these for you, we try and keep the tones together. So we'll either do more of similar to one tone or the other. And we do that so then we don't get too much variance. These are my sort of picks there, Brigadoon and Glencoe. Now, it doesn't matter which way you go around them. Both of them look great. It doesn't matter which way it goes. So whatever you prefer for your main colour, whether it be the green in the Brigadoon or the rich ruby port of the Glencoe, Mystical Garden, regardless of which way your colour shift swings in the dips, either of them looks fabulous with both of them. So, and it's because of the heathering, you see, because they have the tricks of the light there. And I think these heathers, see, there we go, that's the Glencoe with the more greeny tones, and there it is with the more, see, they work. And that was a little, that was quite unexpected when I was going around and finding these this morning. So these as main colours, these Highlander heathers, I think make incredible main colours, or any of the Southlanders do. And I know a number of you have got Southlanders from when we had the 200 green ball clearance. So if you've got those sitting around in your stash and you're wanting to save in some more money and knit from stash, dig those puppies out. The table that I'm sending out has got the meterages on there. Everything that I'm doing with these is based on 100 green balls, obviously. But you just need to halve those. So if you've got it in stash, I mean, just looking at it now, with main colours, if you've got the 200 green balls at home, see, you're starting with from 3 balls through to 5 balls for the biggest size if you've got them at home. So that's really good news. But the other thing is, if you're looking for that magical contrast colour, don't forget the Southlander mounts. These are the perfect contrast colour in this pattern. Absolutely perfect. And they're going to save you even more again, because these in a 50-gram ball equivalent work out at $4.95, because it's $9.95 for a 100-gram ball. So these are just over $4.97.5. These are a brilliant alternative for the contrast colour. Brilliant alternative. And they work with any of the Southlanders that you have in the range, but they also work with the heathers. So this one here these are the three that I grabbed. This is Parker-Fi. So this would work fantastically well if you've got goldenrod at home. It looks great with goldenrod. If you've got, I think it's Joy with Trilly Myrtle, this looks great with Joy. But I just wanted to grab this to show you. This is how this looks with Brigadone. It looks brilliant with Brigadone, absolutely brilliant. It totally pops, but it also looks equally as good with Glencoe. So that is a great option. This one is West Shore, beautiful rich greens. If you've got any dusky blue or late blue at home in the 200-gram balls that you picked up, this is winner chicken dinner with that. But again, this and Brigadone are absolutely stunning together. Absolutely stunning together. Another great option. The wild card option I've got in here, this is, where we go, this one here is Bayview. This looks great with charcoal, actually. So if you had any charcoal, we do actually also have charcoal in stock. This would look great as with charcoal as the main colour. I do quite like it with the Brigadone. It tones in, because there is a lot of blue heather through here. It would look good with a Scotch mist as well for a lighter version. Brigadone's another option. You could go completely wild card and go totally opposite and look at the Glencoe. The other one, of course, that you can throw in there again is our good friend Dragonfly. And the other nice thing about this being merino as a main colour, this is going to be quite good, and that actually works. Charles is saying yes, but what combination am I going to use? Oh, Charles, the $6 million question. I know. I don't know. Actually, if I'm quite honest with you, Charles, I'm actually leaning towards one of these males. I've been itching to knit with one of these, and I think that this project would be a really good one for these. So I'm probably erring into this direction, if truth be told. And I've also been itching to knit with one of these. So I would say this is probably that's where I'll go. I'm thinking what I might do is get the pattern and actually have a look at some swatches maybe and see what they look like. But I know, it's hard, isn't it? It's so hard. I do love this, and I've been dying to do something in this. So I have to admit, my natural inclination is here. Just quietly, because that's me. The $654 question. It is the $654 question, Tabitha, that's for sure. So that's, I think I'm definitely erring towards the Southlander males, actually, because I do love them. I do love them. And the pulse is great, but I think the Southlander males, and it was one of the actually notes that Andrea had in her notes was about actually having a yarn, these yarns, something a bit toothier, I think works really, really well for this pattern. It just helps it all sit and pop and do all of that. So there's sort of my thoughts. It's my thoughts there. And here's the beautiful thing. So the sizing, let's see what size I would do. So I haven't even looked at this because I have been so let's have a look. I would probably do, see, she's gone and done this all the way up to a 74-inch, so I wouldn't do that. So if I were doing this to how she's got this here, depending on how much ease I want on this, I'm probably sitting at around size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd probably go maybe size 6 on this, because I wouldn't want to, I've been caught out before where I just go too big. So I'd probably go size 6, which is 62 inches, finished size. And I think that will be about right. I reckon if I go just too big, it'll be, and I've already got shoji, so I've already got something really oversized. So I'd probably go 62 inch. So what did I say that was? Size 6. So for me, and look, I bought the calculator this time, so I didn't have to do head maths. So I talked about the heather and the marl. Oh, and it's really nice because the two of them sitting on top of each other. So the heather and the marl, I'd be looking at main colour 8 balls, contrast colour 4 balls, which would then take it to I'd be looking at $107.40 for me, my size, to knit that cardigan, not including the pattern cost, obviously. This is pretty good going. That's really good going, really, when you're thinking about the amount of yarn that's in there. That's crazy, as opposed to the $654 US question. So it's about, don't be afraid to get your calculators out and get the maths running on these. And don't be put off either when you see these designs that you love, but they are, I often hear some people out in the social media world, and they have done this for a number of years, can get really down on designers for selecting these premium yarns and saying, how do you la 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 la. I have no issue with it. She's being aspirational. She is putting together a design and really aspirational, beautiful yarn. And you know what? She's allowed to do that. And it is just fine. And I think what she's knitted is utterly beautiful. And, as I said, if you've got, stuff and stash, or you want to be able to buy that, fill your boots by all means. But I think, this is where you have a little bit of skill to doing some, change some stuff out. Oh, gosh. And we've got someone in there that we don't need. Let's get rid of that. Can we get rid of those? Oh, I'll have to see how I can do that later. However, she does say in here that she has, and I've seen this at the bottom here, she's got here, click here to be directed to a PDF with yarn substitution ideas. These yarns have not all been tested, so you can't guarantee outcome, but they do provide a jumping point, and good on her for doing that. And it's essentially what I'm doing here as well, because I don't expect her to have Skeinz yarns in there at all. But it just means that you've got the ability to have a look at other combinations and actually knit something that you really like the look of without busting the bank. So that is the plan, Stan, with all of these. And I just feel like I need to do so. I want to do something with the males. They haven't had the love that they've deserved, because it's we've just been so busy with so many other things. Right, what else is the week bringing for everybody? As I mentioned, the new flight colours are coming. They're with the photographer at the moment. Fingers crossed we'll actually get those today. So I will be able to get those up and out for everybody. They look great. I'm really, really happy with them. Oh, this is awesome. Kathy's saying she's just read the PDF and she recommends some really basic yarns like Lion Brand as alternatives. Yeah, see, that's brilliant. And I think, I think that some of these designers actually get given a lot of slack that they don't deserve. Basically, a lot of stick rather that they don't deserve. I think they do a lot of massive amount of work to pull these things together. And ultimately, we're grown-ups, aren't we? And we can figure, use our big brains, as I will often say to my boys, and we can figure stuff out. Or, that's what I'm here for, is to help give you some alternatives to sort of get you along your way. It's just having your first instinct to go to anger for stuff like that, I just find is very reductive, isn't it? But redundant. Why do we want to do that? Let's just, make fun stuff. Right, week ahead. Yes, flight. So flight, hopefully those new colours, I'll get those up and out for you. I'm looking out there for inspiration. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I will actually get up another dip this week. That's the plan, Stan, is to get another one of those out. One of the things I'm working on at the moment, there's two things that are going on in the background here. Thing one, the biggest thing, and Claire's doing the lion's share on this, bless her, but we've been working on the new website for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and it's a massive job, because we're completely changing platforms, we're completely changing content management systems. It's the first time since its inception that we're doing that. So it is huge. And when we created Skeinz.com coming up 12 years ago now, Yeah, we're 12 years next year. Whew, where does that go? When we created it, it took, I mean, I worked on it for 6 months before we went live. So it took forever then. And this new one is just as bigger job, if not a bigger job than what it was back then. So that's what we're working on, and we're fingers crossed. Our plan is to be live with a new website by Christmas, and I hope you guys love it. I know it'll be quite a different, quite a change to what you've seen before, and I'm trying to do the navigation. So there are some things that feel familiar when you go to find things, and we're trying to improve things with easier searching so you can find things. That's one of the difficulties we have with our current site. Sometimes it's difficult to find the yarns that you're after. So yeah, we're working on all of those sorts of things. So those are some of the things that we're working on. What are the other things that we're working on? And just improving just everything, like more payment pathways, more the ability to sort of search and compare and all those, just, yeah. The site that we've got, to be fair, is we're working off the same, what we call content management system or architecture that we have been for the last 12 years. So that has not changed. So that's going on. That's one big thing going on one side. The other thing that's going on the other side, obviously, is Christmas. It's next month. And I'm working on a Christmas gift guide and pulling together things for Christmas. So this is the one other thing that I can show you. So I'll get rid of that. And I am quickly going to show you this. If it allows me to do it. Actually, let's do it this way. I think might be easier. I'm going to show you. I've already put some stuff up, and now the $6 million question is where I put it. There they are. So this is sitting under gifts, and I haven't really, I haven't really said too much about this, to be brutally honest with you, but I'm going to put something out about this as well. So as we have, and there we go. So if you go yarn by brand, and you'll see we've got a gift tab there. So if you click on that, which is where we are now, and it comes up to our gifts page. And that's where you'll find the gift vouchers, by the way, if you're looking for them. Granny McFlitter, we've got the Granny McFlitter box there, and the new one, Granny McFlitter, A Knit Before Christmas, is on its way. It's on order. Hopefully, actually, we will see it this week. So that will be going up as well. So don't fear not. You'll be able to get Granny McFlitter A Knit Before Christmas. But these is what I wanted to show you. I'm hoping to get these live this week. And these are a blanket kit. We've got a new yarn called Bloom. It's a limited edition. It's actually a cancelled export order that we've picked up, and it's a super chunky yarn, 9mm needle, so super fast knitting. And the wonderful Delene has knit up this blanket for us, and we've gone and pulled together a kit with this blanket and everything that you need. It will come out in a box, pattern plus yarn. You will need to purchase your needle. We didn't put the needle in there because some people do actually have those needles in stash. So you will need a 9mm needle, 9 or 10 to be fair, millimeter needle, and a good long cable. I'd be 120, 150 centimeter cable to knit this up. And I'll just click on this one to show you. So these are live now, actually. You can actually get these now. These are live now. And if there are 2 images there, there you go. It shows you what it does not contain. And the second image shows you all the colours. So it shows you the colours that we've got from Lily, if you Protea, Lotus, Snapdragon. Actually, we'll do that. There we go. So those are all the colours that are available in the range. So we've just gone and popped that up, and then you can pick out which colour that it is that you want. But this is, if you're wanting a kit that's super quick knitting, or you know somebody that loves to knit, or these kits are fun. So we've gone and created these. Yes, these yarns will be, I think these were up with Steph for photography as well. These yarns will be available for an individual. So a 10mm, Delene's saying. needle, and it knit beautifully. Yeah, it is. And these will be available for individual sale as well. We also got Delene to do a jumper project too. I just need to get that jumper onto a wee bod and photograph that so you can have a look at that. And those will be, to give you an idea, they'll be around as well, and we'll get those kitted up as well. So that'll be good. Karen, will you be having a Black Friday sale this year, November 25th? Well, Karen, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Yes, is the short answer to that. And in fact, initially we were going to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, just the 4 days, but we're actually potentially looking at starting it a bit earlier because everybody else seems to be. Who else is seeing Black Friday come early sales? It seems like every second person in their dog's doing it. So we may actually look at starting it earlier in the week, which then means that we weren't going to have a huge amount. We had certain select things that we were going to put in for a weekend sale, but we hadn't sort of in a coupon, because we did a coupon, remember last time. We'll probably definitely do the coupon again, so you've got to remember to use the coupon, but we may actually either extend it and extend that coupon validity period. So I just that's on our agenda of stuff to talk about today. We talked about it this morning, so keep your eyes peeled on the newsletter, because that's where that will be coming out, and I can let you know about that probably later in the week. I will definitely be here on Thursday, and then I'm actually heading up to Auckland. I'm catching up with Libby. So we're going to do some work stuff on Friday, which will be loads of fun. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We might, you never know, there might be some stuff pop up in the social with her and I together up there, which will be fun. And we've got so many ideas. Her and I have been bouncing around so many ideas for so many years. And so hopefully some of those will start getting seeded and germinated across the weekend when we're up there. So that will be fun as well. Margaret's just saying she's seeing the Black Friday sales are now in electronic stores. Yeah, everywhere. I sort of have, I don't know how everyone else's email works, but I get all my promotional sort of like junk mail email, well, not junk mail, but you know what I mean, promo emails all sits in a separate folder. And I just had a quick cast yesterday, and it was like early Black Friday and Black Friday early, and I'm thinking, good grief, it's ages away yet, but you know, there you go. So yes, but we are definitely doing something for Black Friday, and then we're into Stitch in Summer, don't you know? And I think that kicks off. I think it's December 2nd. I've got a funny feeling is our first Stitch in Summer day. So which is a single item on a single day, Tuesdays and Thursdays, every Tuesday and Thursday, December and January. And that program, we've already mapped Stitch in Summer out. And we've got some really cool stuff for Stitch in Summer, some things that have never been in Stitch in Summer before, some really good one-day specials for Stitch in Summer. So across the entire period. So there's still lots of really fun things to be had, so do sort of stay tuned for all of those. All right, I'm going to get going because I need to catch up with Mistress Claire, and we need to get all our bits and bobs done. But I hope you have a really good rest of week, and I will talk to you guys again on Thursday. And again, if you're down in Christchurch Way, make sure you wish Deb at Outlaw a happy birthday for birthday week. Until then, you take care. I'll see you then.